Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. An admission of guilt I needed to hear. Read. Post-separation. It's 3 a.m. and I've been mindlessly going through articles and forum posts trying to understand the WS rationalizations and thoughts going into an exit affair. I felt an intense guilt for believing I was the one who mostly contributed to the creation of an environment so bad that he needed to cheat his way out of. That's until I've read this, from one of the WS at survivinginfidelity.com. I imagine hearing this from my WH 10 years into the future, and I finally feel at peace. I feel absolved of guilt. I feel like he too knows the truth, deep down. And if he doesn't know it now, he will know it one day. Here it goes. I had quite literally destroyed our marriage and our entire relationship along with it. I fought this concept like all hell. I could say the words, and in concept I knew it to be true, but in my heart, the old marriage still existed and I still wanted it back. I thought she really still loved me and that everything was going to be okay once some time had passed. I thought I could resurrect our marriage from the dead. I thought what I did was forgivable on some level. I was wrong on all counts. I had to accept that what I did was not only unforgivable, it was also permanent, and real. When I had the affair, the impact and consequence of that choice meant that I had left her. I spent the next several years under the illusion that she might leave me or choose to end the marriage. The truth was I had already beaten her to the punch. I had already done both things to her. I just couldn't allow myself to face that truth. Somehow I felt entitled to be forgiven. There was simply no reason for that to happen. I was sorry for her, yes, but I was more sorry for myself. And when you are busy feeling sorry for yourself, it is impossible to truly be sorry for anyone else. So even though I was there with her 24/7, she was utterly and totally alone, because the only person I was capable of seeing was myself and my own fear. My choice had been made, so I needed to learn to be okay with it. On some level, whether I was willing or able to accept it or not, I had left my wife. I had betrayed her, I had betrayed myself, I had betrayed my family and most everyone I knew. And for reasons that were mine to figure out through hard work and determination, I had made that choice and acted on it. I did what I did on purpose, and absolutely knew what the consequences would be. When it came time to face those consequences, however, I refused to accept them. At least, I tried to. I felt so damn sorry for myself that I did exactly the same things that I did to my wife during the affair. I lied to myself, I gaslighted myself, I tried to bargain with myself, anything, everything, to make myself feel better, because facing the reality of what I had done was simply too painful to feel. I had spent most of my life avoiding feeling pain, and I was an expert at going numb or going to pieces. I had no coping mechanisms that involved feeling the pain, dealing with the pain, or stepping up to the plate and being responsible for the pain or what caused it. At the end of the day, I think the time had come for me to grow the duck up. And perhaps that need is where the affair itself was born. Maybe my marriage was a skin that needed to be shed, because it was based on a lie, my lie, the one I told myself. It was the lie that I was someone other than who I really was, that I was someone who would never cheat, someone loyal, someone happy with themselves and capable of true love and joy. I was not. I was a sad, hurt little child who never got over his own demons, and chose to live life as a needy individual, rather than as someone who can love themselves and be strong for others. Instead of reaching out for help, I chose to repeat the abuse that was dealt to me. I needed to accept as a fact that I had chosen to be alone, and to be hated, because that's what I thought I deserved, what I felt I was worth. I don't think I was actually capable of understanding that at the time of the affair. It is, nonetheless, exactly what happened. I wish I knew how to link posts in comments on here. I was talking to a cheater yesterday and he said pretty much on the nose did everything this dude did. He was more upset at the reality that he was about to be exposed than what he did to his wife, and more annoyed about having to do emotional labor with his AP or his wife than much else. He also intrinsically assumed she would be mad a few days, then forgive him and resume life as normal, like what he did didn't matter if it passed the present. He also was unable to conceptualize the damage he was going to inflict, as he immediately turned to deflection of the metaphors I used to explain what he was doing and turned to ignoring that portion of my comments when he couldn't find a rebuttal. I'm gonna say this: if anyone thinks it's still cheaters are the same, when they are cheating, your wayward is not unique and you should trust the methodology of this place. I'm just blown away by how they always make themselves the victim no matter what they do. They are victims of their self-inflicted stupidity and selfishness. This is pretty narrow-minded emo. I read this often on these boards, and I think it is fundamentally flawed. Some cheaters are this way, but it isn't absolute. I believe many other cheaters truly are victims. Nature versus nurture. There are acquired traumas we, people, experience, particularly during childhood, that leaves a wound. If these traumas aren't acknowledged, dealt with, and healed, these children grow up to be wounded adults. We've all heard the saying, hurt people hurt other people. How did the cheater become so hurt initially? Solely by self-inflicted stupidity and selfishness? Some? Sure. But all? I think that's a pretty narrow-minded view to carry if you truly think so. Many cheaters truly are damaged people, not by their own choices, but by the choices of others and or the experiences they had when they were too young to dictate the outcome. Would you blame a person for being sexually abused when they were a child? No. Would that same child, now an adult, be at fault for subsequently cheating on his or her partner? Absolutely. All cheaters are ultimately responsible for their decisions, series of choices, to cheat on their partners. Nothing can justify a person's choices to cheat. But this idea that cheating is rooted 100% in their own flaws/stupidity/selfishness ignores the fact that unhealed childhood trauma, something they are not responsible for, likely plays a major part in the decisions to commit infidelity, and something we all should have compassion for, as that very easily could have been us as well. Best. Unhealed childhood trauma, something they are not responsible for. Give me a break. As adults, they're absolutely responsible for their unhealed childhood trauma, just as you or I are responsible for ours. Plenty of people have trauma history and don't cheat. Infidelity is a character issue and an indicator of moral rot and immaturity, and really a depraved indifference to the person you made vows with. Cheaters know right from wrong. They take great pains to conceal their activities and deceive their partner. They know it will hurt their partner, but they do it anyway. Hundreds, if not thousands of choices along the way where they had every opportunity to not cheat and deceive and abuse their partner. That's a character defect. I don't care why pedos pedo, rapists rape, or cheaters cheat. Childhood trauma is no excuse for intentionally inflicting trauma on someone else. Most of us here are strong enough in our core selves to know we could never do that to our partner. So no, it would never be me or us that could easily cheat. It's time to call cheating what it really is, abuse. I wasn't referring to the fact that their childhood trauma is unhealed, rather that it occurred in the first place. Sorry, I could have made that more clear. Nowhere did I say cheaters aren't responsible for their choices. If you had read, you'd see I said that pretty much verbatim. Nor did I ever excuse cheating, again, pretty much said that word for word. Unhealed childhood trauma helps explain a person's proclivity to cheat, not justify it. And of course cheating is abuse. None of what you write here disproves anything I wrote. But you do provide an excellent example of exactly what I'm talking about, an inability to look past your own hurt/pain to see a broken person responsible for it. And if you're arrogant enough to believe you could never cheat on your partner, you're a fool. Anyone is capable of anything, it's part of what being human entails. Anyone is capable of anything, it's part of what being human entails. I can say without a doubt that I'm not capable of pedophilia, rape, or infidelity, among other things. My core values and decency are strong, which absolutely means that I'm not capable of those things. They're simply not even options in the way I navigate the world. That's the difference between decent people and cheaters. Cheaters always allow themselves a loophole for their heinous behavior. I really don't care about the hurt that abusers have. What's more important is mitigating the intentional damage and trauma they inflict on others. Because ultimately, the reasons for their childhood stuff doesn't matter if they refuse to address it as adults. Nope. I am not capable of anything and everything, especially when it comes to abusing others. That's bullshit. I am not a child and I've lived plenty of life and I know I'm not capable of anything and everything. I'm not a monster. This is some pro-psychopath bullshit where people try to act like we're all monstrous rapists, murderers, liars and con artists just waiting for our opportunity. No, we aren't. I'd say I'm sorry you're so evil that you think everyone else is too and is just hiding it, but I'm not sorry for monsters. I'm just disgusted by them. The truth is that is exactly what drives the need to have an affair. They feel like they are the victim. And even though the reality isn't quite like what they've painted in their minds, they just don't have the capacity to raise themselves above the feelings of victimhood, pain and weakness. At the depth of their being, they are the biggest victim of themselves and their dependence on other people's unconditional validation. I empathize with their weakness and understand that it's a hard life to live having put your self-worth into another person's hands. How fragile must you be? How scared must you be? How affected must you be even by the tiniest of conflicts that will inevitably arise? I feel the pain of their own prison. The pain of needing to find the perfect person, the one who will never hurt them. Not being able to be by themselves, needing someone in order to be someone. I can't be angry at him when I look at him this way. I feel empathy and sadness instead. He is weak, and he will forever stay this way, until one day he becomes unable to escape himself and is forced to face everything that he's been running away from. I don't empathize with abusers. Cheating is abuse. They choose to abuse. Lots of us have gone through terrible things and we don't make the conscious decision to abuse others. I only empathize with their weakness, not the abuse. I know that people have a hard time empathizing with those who do bad things. But some people can still do that. Psychologists have to have this ability in order to help others become better people. People will never change or recognize their mistakes if they feel defined by their wrongdoings, then instead, they will look for justifications. No one is born wanting to harm others, they get shaped into a person who does it. Thank you for sharing that. You know, I'm so sorry that you are sitting there at 3 a.m. and your mind and heart are in this place. Not peacefully dreaming or getting the rest you likely deserve. But I do envy you. You are able to see your ex clearly and you have a sense of peace now that while you are responsible for maybe some of the conflict and pain and disconnect in your relationship, you are not responsible for his part or his affair. How he chose to show up was his choice. You had choices too, and you didn't betray him. Sleep easy, lady. You deserve it. Thank you. I am trying my best to recover, and I hope better sleep is to come soon. I wonder if my ex will ever reach an understanding that he reaped what he sowed. This is a self-centered pity party, as is typical for cheaters. But it really shows how they are the relationship problem. Nothing the betrayed did or didn't do caused the cheater's issues. Betrayed have nothing to feel guilty about. There's no excuse for infidelity. Duck. This is so heartbreaking to read. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.